Welcome back to another chapter in Advanced Project Management Certification. Once again, I'm your host, Ibby Taylor. Now, in this one, we're going to take a look at the PMI exam structure, and you're going to get a little bit more familiar with how the exams work, how they're formatted, what sort of questions to expect, to really solidify your understanding and make sure you are as prepared as possible for the end of this course. So, welcome to this detailed exploration of the PMI exam structure, a foundational topic that holds the key to your success in obtaining a globally recognised PMI certification. Now, obviously, there are multiple, so whether you're aspiring to achieve the CAPM, the PMP, or another industry-leading credential, understanding how the exams are designed, scored, and structured is essential. So PMI certifications, they're not just badges for achievement, they're strategic tools that elevate your skills, credibility, and earning potential, which, of course, is the main reason why a lot of us do it. We are here to earn more, to provide for families, and the way that you do that in project management is to show your capability and your understanding, and a lot of that is through certifications, so that's why we're all here. So a few key points. Obviously, PMI exams adopt a standardised computer-based format, and obviously they're tailored to the certification type. Now below, we've got some primary features, so we can have a little look. You've got the CAPM, the PMP, the PMP, PMI ACP, the PGMP, and the PMI RMP. It's a lot of letters. Obviously, each one has differing numbers of questions. Most of them are multiple choice, but the PMP also features drag and drop and hotspot. Duration is all fairly similar, roughly in the 3 to 4 hour mark. And then the criteria is also different. Now, the CAPM is obviously the entry level of that, so roughly 60-70% correct will get you through that. Now, the rest of these, 3 out of the 4 are psychometric evaluation, and then the PMI ACP is estimated based on cumulative scoring. So duration and complexity of these exams correspond to the depth of knowledge required for each certification. So PMP, PMI ACP, and PGMP involve advanced levels of scenarios, while CAPM caters to entry-level understanding. So it's important to familiarise with the types of questions that you're going to get during the exam. So there's a few different things that you might come up against. You've got the knowledge-based questions, which are fairly basic. So what's the primary purpose of a stakeholder register? And you'll be expected to answer it. These then assess your conceptual knowledge directly from the PMBOK guide and other references. You've then got situational-based questions, which target your critical thinking. For example, during a project crisis, a sponsor requests a sudden change to scope. Which course of actions align with the PMI process? These are designed to evaluate your judgment, decision-making, and familiarity with project roadmaps. Drag and drop and matching is match each risk with its most effective mitigation strategy. That would be an example of one there. These require classification skills, often based on PMBOK, guide tables, and frameworks. Agile and hybrid integration questions. What is the correct prioritization for sprint tasks based on the Moscow analysis? And obviously we know by now Moscow is must have, should have, could have, and won't have. And then you have graph and hotspot assessments. Identify the critical path or a bottleneck in a provider Gantt chart. So they will give you something and it's on you to then analyse and tear down exactly what you see. Each question and each type is designed to assess both memory and application. Memorization alone will not guarantee success. Contextual understanding is crucial. So it's not about just recalling what you know. It's about using that understanding, that knowledge, and the things that you've picked up along the way on this course, and using everything you've learned to come up with the answer. So, obviously we touched on in that table psychometric analysis, and PMI uses that, which ensures that all candidates are evaluated fairly, regardless of the difficulty of the questions they face. So scores are adjusted based on the weight and complexity of questions. Each knowledge area is assigned a proficiency level. Above target is an excellent grasp of it. On target, satisfactory, or below target requires improvement. PMI exam, for instance, is divided into 3 domains: people, process, and business environment. Obviously all in different percentages, as you can see there. Achieving above target in the majority of these categories greatly enhances your success probabilities. And then you can see the distribution over there. Now, mock exams simulate the exact conditions of the PMI test, are an invaluable preparation strategy. Additionally, PMI exams demand effective time management. So break down the time allotted for each section. For example, if you've got 60 questions per hour for PMP rather, ensures you won't lag behind. Use the review/flag feature to mark complex questions, revisit them later. Allocate 2 to 3 minutes for critical thinking scenarios, but avoid lingering excessively. So it's all about looking at how many questions you've got and how many minutes you've got to work with. So as I've said there, about 60 questions per hour. If you've got 3 hours and you've got 180 questions, it works out pretty much spot on. Now, success in PMI exams relies on the thoughtful use of resources. You have of course got the PMBOK guide, 7th edition now. It remains the primary reference point for this. PMI approved practice exams will help you identify areas that need improvement. So you can go, do a practice, look at where you're lacking, look at where you need to question your own understanding, look at where you need to develop. And then supplement with agile resources, Scrum guidelines and real-world templates from the PMI community. So once again, we've got some applications. So number 1, building risk registers in manufacturing. A PMI RMP graduate will identify bottlenecks in a factory using quantitative assessments. And the resource that they're going to use is the PMI template for risk registers, spreadsheet tools for Monte Carlo simulations. So this is really about understanding how the information, the qualification, and the capability that you're going to receive by doing these is going to impact in real world situations for you. So have a look at these examples, go through them, and really focus on the certifications that are being mentioned and how they give those people the qualifications and capability needed to succeed in these examples. And then once again, you've got your summary tables. Check your own understanding. Go through, double check, make sure your understanding is where it needs to be, because just afterwards, as always, well, in most cases anyway, and some they haven't, and it has tripped me up, but we have some practice questions. So go ahead, do those questions. See how you get on. Just like taking a mock exam, you'll be able to see where you need to improve, what areas need further development. Come back and rewatch this, read the material again. If you are still struggling and you need further help and support, please do reach out to us as always. But for now, do these practice questions. I've been your host, Ibby Taylor, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.